trying, but you're doing this. It's like I'm focused on the issue and she's focused on how I'm causing the issue.
That's not
We're
what
maintaining
that's
it.
what I'm focused
That's what
on.
it sounds like.
She
to me.
just
That's what I'm
was
saying.
talking
You're
about
saying
communication.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Bird 91. We're talking to you about Married at First Sight, dealing with Jasmina and Michael. And I've entitled this video, Jasmina will regret her actions when this marriage ends. She will regret her actions when this marriage ends. I'm going to break down a little bit about their scene, but we've got several videos coming out over the course of this weekend that will go slightly deeper into the issues. But if you're new to the channel and you want to know a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about, then please like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications of uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen, stay hydrated because the streets are hot. Also, stay to the end. We've got a special announcement for you guys as well. Okay, cool. Let's get into this particular video and break it down in terms of what I actually mean by Jasmina will regret her actions. Let's have a little bit more. Watch this.
Yes, so have you said, can you say that you have tried to talk to me?
When do I get to finish it?
Okay, well, you did stop talking. So.
Now, I think we can all see that at the beginning of the series, I made these points. I said about, about the finishing his thoughts on the boat. And everybody said, oh my gosh, no, Jasmina, it's crazy because we saw the clip and, she never interrupted him. This is actually, I think, what he actually meant, right? Where the last few episodes, we've seen how she interrupts. We've seen how she overrides. And we see how she condescends, and we've seen how she reinterprets a scene to make it fit her narrative. We've seen how she doesn't take accountability. We've seen how she puts a blame game. We've seen how she almost gaslights. I don't want to use that word just yet because I think that's really like you're intentionally trying to do something. So I'm going to try and stay away from that G word. But we've seen her behavior be deplorable and disrespectful, especially on this episode, right? She turned her back to him later on. She rolled her eyes. She was contemptible. When he was speaking, she even had the audacity to cut him off, say, hey, look, I'll be back in a minute. What, to walk out the room? When he's just talking, and when you came back in, you start talking again, right? So we're starting to see some behaviors from Jasmina, which are really, for me, are bringing the relationship into disrepute. But I always knew this was coming because, like I said, the way she handled the first argument at home when she accused him and said, why do you think we'll have arguments? I knew that was going to be a problem. How she handled the honeymoon argument, okay, about the way she spoke and said he was yelling, being aggressive. How she handled the Pastor Cow argument. How she spoke to him in the park. Like, there are several instances which don't show Michael being aggressive, yelling, or being even rude, but it all shows where Jasmina has been rude, condescending, reimagining events, and changing the narrative, right? And then making up her own deductions from what he said, right? That's what we've seen from Jasmina. Now, I'm not saying Michael was clear and clean. We definitely saw him lying. Okay, all right. We saw her lying too, but we definitely saw him lying about the two roommates, and I did videos about that. Right now, here's the thing about the Jasmina and Michael situation. Why I said she'll regret this is because right now she's fighting from a place of an inability to be intimate. Okay, now if you take into account the fact that she always did long distance relationships, this will help you understand why she was in long distance relationships. Physical intimacy, as in emotional intimacy, sometimes can come through also being physically present and in the moment and there with somebody. When I'm on the phone or on Zoom, I can still be emotionally intimate, but there is an aspect that's lost, which is the physicality of it all, okay? And the physicality of me being present with you, eye contact, looking at you. I think Michael even mentioned this later on in the episode, the fact they had eye contact during the game, their sex little part, right? So eye contact, me being present in the room with you, being able to hear you speak literally right in front of me. These are different aspects that come into play when we're talking about our interaction and our connection, okay? It seems that Jasmina doesn't do that on a regular basis, right? Because she'll have interim moments where the person might come over, be with them for a little while, but then it'll go back to being long distance again. There's a reason why your relationships are always long distance. She can't cope with the emotional intimacy. She can't cope with the physicality of it all. And I think what she's scared of is actually being seen for who she really is. And when people get defensive of themselves, protective of themselves, it often is because of fear, right? There's normally a fear that's there. And I've spoken about this before about our emotional responses. When we talk about fear, fear in itself is not a bad thing or a good thing. It's necessarily just a response to stimuli, right? It's our multidimensional response to stimuli, if you want to call it that. I don't know what word they use, whatever for it, right? And we react in this way, okay, due to what we feel is danger or reward. Now, due to what we know about Jasmina's background, she's obviously been abandoned. Parental situation obviously is not great. So we know that obviously she's coming from a very pain-based background as well. Now, we don't know the extent of how that's impacted her, but what we do know is her in a relationship right now. And oftentimes when some people are afraid of intimacy, they're afraid of love, they're afraid of being seen and afraid of actually being truly vulnerable. Because when they have to be vulnerable, they have to deal with themselves. Vulnerability is nakedness. Then I have to actually see myself. When I see myself, I might not like what I see. And so what we might do is put up a lot of walls, fight, tussle, wrestle with you, because I don't want to get naked, because if I do, I have to do the work. I have to see myself and then actually do the work. Hence why she consistently puts the blame on him. Every time they have a conversation, it always ends up with, Michael, but you did this. But Michael, you did this. But Michael, you did that. Where is her accountability for what she did? Okay, sure. She took a little bit of accountability towards the end of the show when they were in the bed, and she said, "Oh, see, I didn't interrupt." But you see, what Jasmina's failing to understand is you must be accountable for when you do something. It's not one little moment you take a little accountability, and then the other times you blame the other person. What I'm seeing from Jasmina, especially in this series so far, is her inability to take that accountability, because that would mean then she's being blamed. And I think what may have happened is, I don't know if the full extent of her parental situation, but when parents can leave, you can sometimes put the blame on you. Maybe it's me that's not good enough. Maybe it's me that caused them to go. Maybe it's me that caused them to abandon me. Maybe it's me that's caused them to not want to be with me. And so when somebody then, like Michael, then says, "Hey, look, we are the issue," it's like when you have to take accountability. Taking accountability means also then you might have to deal with the guilt and anxiety and the strife that you might feel, knowing that you are a cause of an issue, and that is blame. And that is one of those emotional triggers for some people. I think I spoke about this before, about the emotional triggers. I can show you on my screen that when we talk about emotional triggers, okay, all right, that when people have those emotional triggers, they struggle, okay, to be able to honestly act in the right way. And so let me show you a little bit of this so you can have a look as well. I've done this on a video before. Go watch Men Need to Be More Emotional, and you'll see that my latest video, we spoke about this. Look at this list here, right? These are some of the emotional triggers. Here, someone blaming or shaming you. The moment that she has to be blamed, okay, or the moment that she has to take accountability for her actions, that's where the issues begin to start, right? And then we'll see this. As soon as we do, we get emotional responses. What's her one? Get angry, get needy, I comply, I shut down, I blame someone else for my pain. This is where she is at the moment. I blame someone else for my pain. That is exactly where I see Jasmina being. She blames somebody else for her pain instead of actually taking accountability for her actions and the impact she's having, right? Um, you know, I put this down, but blame can also be a defensive thing. It can be something we do when we feel we aren't being noticed or cared for in a way that we want to be. Now, I said this previously as well, that what I see from Jasmina, and I'll come back to that quote in a second, what I see from Jasmina towards Michael is that when she's looking at Michael, she's looking at him through a lens of I feel like what she wants from Michael is a certain type of energy. Like if you're again, father figures are so important, especially for daughters. Actually, I shouldn't say that. For daughters and sons, father figures are important. And what sometimes women can do is they can look for father figures in men. What can also be happening is also Jasmina not feeling safe when she doesn't get that father figure energy. Because I already said this, Michael wanting to be more emotional means that she can't be emotional, meaning she can't be as vulnerable as she wants to be, because now she's having to take the lead in it. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily his fault all the way. I'm saying that she's responding also to the stimuli, the energy that she's getting. She's unfortunately not able to feel safe as she wants to be. Now, that feeling of being unsafe is causing her now to attack as a self-defense mechanism. It is not an excuse. This is why I'm saying she's going to look back at it and regret her behavior, because it's not an excuse, right? I'm only explaining the behavior. So I think what is happening here, I think, again, it's my opinion. I think what's happening here is her response to this energy. He's also having a similar response. When he's dealing with Jasmina, it's not a safe place for him because he wants somebody who's going to be more emotive. She's wanting somebody to be less emotive so that she can be emotive, right? So these two are looking for opposite things in each other. It's very difficult because they're also as well dealing with their traumas. It's not a safe space for either of them, right? But more so, I'm seeing Jasmina's behavior because she ends up attacking. That's the difference between the two of them, right? When she gets scared or feeling unsafe, she begins to attack and starts to blame him, right? So she will look back on this relationship and go, "What did I do wrong? And why was I like this?" Right? And sometimes, well, this arguing that she's doing, okay, again, is a representation sometimes of a dysfunctional mindset. Like if we fight and make up, maybe we'll show that we care about each other, right? Because the whole thing is about care. It's like whether he cares about me enough or wants me enough or desires me enough. And that can be covered by an argument, by a fight, by attacking the other person, blaming the other person. Let's have a look at this clip. Oh, sorry about that.
Continued on. So finish your thought, Michael. Like we're talking
But that's part of it.
Now you notice that Dr. Viv was looking on a bit like, what's going on here? Because she was talking to him like a kid. And you remember I said about accountability on both sides. Michael's going to have to take accountability because when he looks back at the relationship, he's going to have to realize as much as he wasn't having a fight, that's fine. You don't have to fight, but you are going to have to put some boundaries up. You are going to have to be, listen, when I talk, don't do that. There's going to have to be some sturdiness, right? And it's done in a way that doesn't have to be shouting, right? So you say, I get it. He is communicating, but she's going to need that. She's going to need that energy. I'm not saying it's going to solve the issue because I've said it before. Someone like Jasmina is operating from a place of hurt and pain, and that's going to be very difficult, even if you give her the right boundaries. But he's going to need to develop that bone, because when I look at him and when I hear him talking, I see me. I see myself in it, and I'm like, but you didn't put up good boundaries. What I mean by that is you didn't let the person know. There's a stern way, not a rude way. There's a stern way to let people know this is a boundary. Say, hey, look, what she just did there. You just cut me off right there and then. I don't appreciate that. Can I talk now? He did it a little bit. You heard him come a little bit stern. Can I talk now? Right? That needs to be happening a bit more. And it's not about being raising your voice or being loud. It's about letting the person know, listen, no, you're beginning to step on my toes. Where you're going, I don't like it. Stop here. Right? This relationship, and to be honest, again, this relationship should never be going forward. Can I be honest? This relationship should be going forward. We don't even want to be solving this issue, to be honest. They should just end the relationship, right? Because the experts knew exactly what they were doing, putting these two together as an experiment. They knew exactly what they were doing. Let's not pretend.
Communication is
right now we're just focusing on the communication and getting back to just talking on a normal day-to-day.
Okay, so then let's break this down.
But like I said, it's a tough ordeal because even if he does be stern about it, it could just literally raise the fire up and it can explode. She will learn. She will learn, right? Because if he continues down this route where he takes the route that he is taking, where he's not as stern, she will have a reflecting moment when she gets out of the relationship. Maybe not now. When she gets out of the relationship, she'll look back and wait, why did I treat the guy so badly? Right? You know what I mean? Like she'll look back on him like, why did I treat him so badly? She will look back at it and realize that she did things wrong. Now, what she does after that is what's important. Whether she decides to actually do the work, and actually get to a place where she will learn from that, that's her issue. But I believe she will look back at this and realize there were issues of her behavior which were absolutely problematic. And that is got to say on this particular part. I will go deeper on the blame game situation. So if you want to know a little bit more about the reason why people blame people, tune into that particular video that I'll do then, and we'll talk some more about it. But before we do, again, once more, I wanted to share this with you guys. I do need your help. I need your help, guys. Yeah, I need your help to vote for me on Influence Me TV. Click down below on the description box. You'll see 2 links. I need you guys to vote for me on both links. They're free. Now, if you feel led to pay and add extra votes because you love what I do and want to see me on a greater platform doing what I do, then please go ahead and do so. But for now, just vote for me. You know, I appreciate you voting for me, showing that love and that care. So we appreciate you. Remember, it's in the description box. Click on those links and vote for me down below. Much love and appreciation. We will see you guys very, very soon.
Little black book. You know what time it is.